Hi, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and today I'm going to talk about the conclusions of my vibration experiments. I've been working to reduce the vibrations on my Ender 5 Plus, and I've narrowed it down to a couple of different variables I was testing. And like I said, I'm going to go over the results with you today. Now, the tests I ran, I started off with 4 different variables, and then I eliminated it down to 3. I found these feet on Thingiverse, and let me show you that link. Okay, so here's the model I printed. Now if you look at this model, the maker was printed, I think, in ABS. Based on my research, what I found was it actually would be better to print these in PLA, so that's what I did. A lot of the research shows that PLA with thin walls and lots of infill actually absorbs vibrations. Again, I printed 4 of these and I put them on the printer. This increased the vibration significantly. So instead of eliminating vibrations on the Ender 5 Plus, it actually increased the vibration significantly. And I basically put these aside my experiment. And then I wound up with 3 variables I wanted to test. I bought these cork pads that are supposed to absorb vibrations off Amazon. So I tried those. I have some dampeners, again purchased off Amazon. And then last but not least, these pads here, which I put underneath my printers. Again, my goal is to reduce vibrations in general. Okay, on my screen I have my experimental design, and let me go over a little bit about how I'm doing things. When I'm running experiments, I try to use the process of design of experiments. And in this case, I have 3 factors I'm interested in, which is X1, which is the cork pad. The pad you stand on is X2, and then X3 is the dampener. And each one of these negative numbers, each row represents a run. Negative means that the item is not present. Positive, the item's present. So if you look down the list on the first row, I run everything with no pads, no dampeners. And then on the next row down, row 2, I'm looking at just the cork pad. Row 3, just the stand pad. And then row 4, I'm looking at both the cork pad and the stand pad. And then once I get to row 5, 6, 7, and 8, doing different combinations with the cork and then the dampeners and the stand pad and the dampeners. And then the very last run is doing it with all 3 present. And what I did was I've used a little app. So the application I used to measure vibrations, the Vibrations app on iOS. This app in particular used the accelerometer to measure the amount of vibration. Now just some background here. Vibrations measure basically the peaks or the amplitude of the wave. In my case, what I was interested in was the root mean square of the wave, and that's basically the destructive power. So what I tried to do was reduce the RMS. Is my measure of success. Okay, so if I bring up the help page for the Vibrations app, the long axis of the phone going this way is Y. The cross section of the phone, the crosswise is, yeah, that'll work. So this way is X, this is Y, and then straight up and down is Z. I shouldn't expect much in the way of vibration from that Z axis. So I have the app open, and all I need to do is place it on my printer, hit the play button, and it'll start collecting. Now in my case, my readings are about, I think 41 seconds. So I take readings for 41 seconds. And so let's go ahead and I'll show you how I had this set up on the printer. Okay, so what I've done is I placed this in the corner on the printer, and then once I started printing, I hit play, and then collected for 40 seconds. And then once this was done collecting, I'd stop it and save the data. So when I save the data, you look at the screenshot of the Vibrations app, you'll notice the RMS for the X, Y, and Z axis. So that's the data I'm capturing. To create the print, I went over to the Teaching Tech printer calibration site, and he has an acceleration test. So what I basically did was crank up the acceleration on the test print up to 1500. And scroll down here on the site. Okay, so here's a picture of the shape. So this had some nice long runs, and I felt like I could get my printer really going. So, and as you notice, all my settings are the same for every layer. Basically what I did was load the print into Octoprint. I've loaded it into Octoprint. Go down here to Vibrations, and here's my print in question. I found a plugin called Dry Run, which basically it runs the G code without actually turning on the heater or the bed. I'm going to turn on Dry Run. It says Dry Run activated, and I'm going to hit print. And what I'm basically going to do is let this start printing, and once it gets to, I believe, layer 3, 4, 5, it'll actually crank up to full speed, and I'll show you that. Okay, so here's the printer going at full speed, and as I mentioned, what I really like about Dry Run is it's not using any filament, and my bed stays cool, so I don't have to worry about my phone heating up. So what I do is set my right here. It's oriented in conjunction with the axis Y, X, and then just hit the play button here. So I'll let that basically collect data and go for about 40 seconds. So I'll pause and then show you the results. Okay, so here are the results. So I have the results, and then right here, here, and here, I have the RMS. And let me show you my saved results. Okay. So I've loaded all the results into Excel. And if we look at them, what you'll see is most of the RMS error is actually in the y-axis. So I've gone ahead and captured all that, and here's all my 24 different runs. Again, with those settings different. It's a little clearer here. So let's go down. These last 3 results are with all my dampening measures in place. My cork pad, my standing pad, and then the dampers. And if you look down this column, you'll notice that the RMS is pretty much staying constant. which again is sort of disappointing. And let me go over and show you my actual experiments. Now, I run all my experiments. I use Python and Jupyter notebooks. And basically what I do, scroll down here, I do ordinary least squares regression on my results. And the way this works is it does single interactions, which is just the cork pad, just the standing pad, and just the dampers. And then it does interactions. So I can test using both the cork and the standing pad, using the cork and the dampener, and then this using the pad and the dampener. And so I can look to see which of those factors affect that y-axis RMS. Now once I run the first one, I'm looking for data that's significant. So, and I'm looking at this P column. I've written some equations that go through and analyze the data and basically starts dropping data that's not important. So now I have a much smaller model, and really what this model is telling me is the variables of interest are the pad and then the combination of the cork pad and standing pad. Now when I go down, again I've written some equations and some formula, and where things get interesting is this very last section here. This is my optimization. What this is basically telling me is that I should not be using any of these to reduce my Y vibrations. Basically, none of these do anything. None of these are really significantly lowering my amount of vibrations. So, sort of disappointing results. But what this does mean is, going back to my desk camera, I don't need to be using any type of vibration control. None of these work. So the dampeners don't help with vibration. The cork doesn't help with vibration. And lastly, that standing pad doesn't help with vibration. And the combinations of those together don't do anything. So it's basically what I can tell you is that if you're interested in reducing the amount of vibration on your printer, using these feet, the dampeners, like a cork pad here or one of the standing pads, they don't do anything to reduce vibrations. In fact, you might find they actually are, at least in the case of the feet, it's significantly increasing the amount of vibration. I'm hoping you found this video useful. Again, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP. If you have any questions, please post them below. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for your time. Have a good night.